Nothing's wrong with your key. We changed the locks.
Change the locks? Why?
You were supposed to be home by 8.
I was doing homework with friends.
Okay, well, Mr. Washington called and said you haven't done any homework in 2 weeks.
Huh? Daddy!
I'm sorry, baby girl. She didn't give me a key.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
I don't know. You're grown. Figure it out.
Oh, come on, guys. Stop playing. Come on, man. Guys, this isn't funny. Mama! Daddy! Baby? Cece? Bye! Somebody! Man, this is messed up.
Psst, baby girl. Here's some money for bus fare. Go to Sugar Mama's. It'll be worse than here. I mean, way worse than here. But at least you've been inside.
Oscar!
I gotta go. Keep your head up, baby girl.
All right, let me just start by saying, me talking about this, I know I'm going to be in a minority. I know I'm going to be in a minority group, even though I don't agree with doing this, nor will I ever do this to my own child. And I'm saying this as a disclaimer because I know there's going to be people who's just like, oh, it's child neglect, it's child abuse. It is. I know. It is. But obviously, what are we talking about? There was an episode of Proud Family, and I've seen it coming back up, but I know it's been talked about when it came out. And it was an episode where Penny thought she was grown. And I watched I remember watching the episode. Penny thought she was grown. So, and I guess she was staying out. And she thought she was grown. She was supposed to be in a house with a curfew. And they locked her out. Changed the locks and everything. And instead of letting them in the house, Trudy was like, oh, you grown. You figure it out. And a lot of people had a problem with that. In which... Yes, I watched the video, and it was a white guy. And I don't want to say, because I think it happens mostly with black people. I don't know how often this happens with white people, but I know in black homes, I know mothers that done this. I've heard stories of mothers doing this to their child, because it's mostly the mother and a daughter thing. You don't really hear it from the son and the father thing, but it's always a mother and a daughter thing when this goes on, because the daughter thinks she's grown. Now, again, I'm gonna repeat myself like Umar. I would never do this to my child, nor I know this is child neglect and I know this is child abuse. But I understand why people do this. And this is the part where everybody's just probably gonna be like, oh, Lord. I understand why parents do this. Yes, it's fucking dangerous. Yes, I've heard the stories of kids, women either being beaten, killed, or raped. Yes, and so why would you agree with something that a lot of things can happen to your child? And the only thing is because your child does think you're grown. One thing about being around, see, I'm from a big family, so I done seen it all. So, like, cause it's 6 different personalities. So, and plus, I have friends and their personalities and all that stuff. And I've heard stories of other people. I'm gonna tell you something. Some of your kids, and this is coming from a knucklehead, even though I've never done this, but this is also coming from a knucklehead. Some of them kids, they do think they grown. Some of them kids, especially when they get to their teenage years, they start smelling themselves. And when they start, and I feel like a lot of these people don't have kids. I could be wrong. Well, the people who talk about this most are the ones that don't have kids, or probably done, they just know the trauma. Yes, the world is dangerous. Sometimes, and I say this all the time, there are people that all they need is a slap on the wrist. But there are other people that needs a foot in their ass. What does that mean? Some people are just fucking hard-headed. And some kids are, because what you're thinking is just like, a lot of them don't learn a lot of kids, they're fucking hard-headed. They don't learn their lesson. If anything, they'll try finding other ways to go around the situation. Especially if you slap them on the wrist. A lot of them don't learn their lesson with it. They'll do it again. And they're going to keep doing it. and then they're gonna keep disrespecting the parents. The thing is, her grades was slipping. The thing is, you seen it as a beginning of the episode. If I'm correct, and again, I don't agree with none of this shit. But her grades was slipping. She was talking back, and I do remember her talking back to the parents, and she was catching an attitude with the parents. That doesn't take no regular discipline. That's some shit. When it gets to that point, the parents are fed up. I say, okay, you want to be grown, you want to act like adult, you're going to do adult shit. So the one thing, if they tell you like your curfew is 9 o'clock and you coming in at 10:30, disrespecting, the one time they probably let you slide with it. But the second time we do it, they're locking the doors. They say, oh no, you grown, you figure it out. What time are you supposed to be in this house? 10:30. 9:30. It is 10:30. Since you want to act grown, and because I know you was doing some fast ass shit, and here's the thing, because a lot of people is just like, you are probably, people who listen to this, you probably never done this. You probably never disrespected your parents. You probably got smart with them a little bit, but you never got to a point where they had to like, you're probably not a knucklehead. Let's just say that. You probably like didn't have to, where they didn't have to push this type of punishment. You're probably a good kid. So that's why it's like, oh my God. All this shit, it's not good parenting. I'm not saying it. I don't say it's good parenting, but I also agree with sometimes you need to put a foot in there, or sometimes they need to know firsthand how fucked up the world is. Especially now. Like I said, I know the story. Some kids done died, some kids done got R-worded. I already said the word earlier, but I'm gonna try to keep I'm gonna just say R-word or grape. And some people have been missing and sex traffic and all that other stuff. I know. That's why I said I would never do that to my child, because I don't want that happening. But there are kids out there that's just like, they rip and run in the streets and they think in the streets and they think they grown. You're not grown. You're a kid. You need to know a child's place. That is the first. And the one thing about old school parenting is they're going to teach you firsthand to know a child's place. You are a child. You need to be in the child's place. A lot of kids, like I said, when they hit their teenage years, they think they're grown. And a lot of parents is just like, oh, you're not blaming the kid. Or it's like they'll say the parents neglect. Sometimes it's not the parents neglect. Sometimes you have a hard-headed ass child. Sometimes you got a knucklehead ass child. Sometimes I've seen good parents have knucklehead childs. Yes, some childs are just rebels, just to be a rebel. They just like, when your parents go left, you just want to go right. And sometimes we're just like, you feel like you can do what I want. It's like, I'm 16. There was a lot of it, like, I'm 16, I can do what I want. And the thing is, like, so, and a lot of people had this problem because Oscar was like, take a bus fare, go to Sugar Mamas. And like when she was on the Sugar Mamas, Sugar Mama was like, I'm not tolerating that shit you was pulling in the house. I don't tolerate that over here. She pulled out the belt. And I know a lot of people, again, we're in a new age where people, that's also child abuse and this and that. As someone that got whippings all the time, belts don't work. I tell people all the time, belts don't work. I was still doing knucklehead shit. I shouldn't have been doing it, but now you're wondering, why do I agree with this? Because it does work. It does. Sometimes you need to scare your child. Sometimes your child needs to understand, like, yo, it's hard out there. It's dangerous out there. It's scary out there. And you want to act like you've grown when you're only 16. I'm using 16 because that's usually when all this starts. And yes, even when people get pregnant, that's usually when it starts. You think you're grown. You're not grown. You're not an adult. And then, like, once as kids, you kind of realize, damn, the world is scary. Especially if you're a young woman, it's like, damn, the world is scary. Like, people just want you. You know, people just try to take advantage of you. People, you think they're cool. All of a sudden, yeah, it does its job. Do I like it? No. Again, I would never do that to my child. I hope to, and I hope to pray to God, if I have kids, I never have to take it that far. But I always understood when the parents did that, because sometimes, and like I said, this is a lot of old school parents, you need to put yourself out there. A lot of their stuff is just like, oh no, put them out there. Let them figure it out firsthand. Let them teach this shit firsthand that, yeah, this shit is hard. And what it's supposed to do is supposed to respect the fact that one, you have a safe place to go home to. So if I tell you when the street lights, be in before the street lights are coming on, you better be in before the street lights come on. If I tell you that your curfew is 9:30, you better be in by 9:30, because the freaks come out at night. It's scary out there. I need to know that you are in there safe and sound. I put these rules here for a reason. Not because to oppress you, but to protect you. And sometimes and again, I don't agree with it. But it also is an effective way for your kid to learn their lesson. And that's why I don't have a problem with parents doing it. Again, not all kids are angels. Some of them, and it's just like, oh, they're young, you need to say. Some of them don't get it. And I've told people, some people just don't get it until you put them in a situation. And that's the majority of people in this country. Honestly, that's the majority of people in this country. But black people is just like, it's twice as hard for us. And sometimes you gotta understand, or this place will swallow you up. Which is why, like, most people will try to be tough on the kids. But you got to understand that shit. And this is why, like, mothers are, some of them, they try not to, have people around their kids, because you don't know who you can trust and all that other stuff. But even then, it's just like, I remember being in high school, and I think one of my homegirls got pregnant like this. But the older people used to come back, chilling with their cars and all that other stuff, and the 16-year-old girls was drawn to the people that was like in their 20s. Or they just got out of high school or some shit like that. They're in college and all this stuff. The 16-year-olds was being attracted to the 20-year-olds. Some of them got pregnant by older men because they were being fast. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people are going to like, because it's just like, oh, they're just children. No, sometimes your children are hoes. Sometimes your children are knuckleheads. Sometimes your children are miscreants. Sometimes your children are bad people. They're going to have to learn the hard way. You ever see them joints where you see badass kids and they get confronted, and all of a sudden they confronted with cops, and all of a sudden, yes, you need that. It's an eye opener. I get, and I'm gonna keep saying this. I don't agree with it, but it is effective. The thing is, I shouldn't have to go that far, and that is the problem. I feel like that's the problem. Most people, they it's effective, but I shouldn't have to go that far. If you push someone, and a lot of people are not going to agree with this too. Sometimes your kids will push you to the point where, okay, you grown, go out. You grown, figure it out. You're an adult, figure it out. See what's going on. And you pray, and I'm pretty sure they pray that the kids don't get. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure the kids, for the parents, they pretty sure their kids don't get, kidnapped and robbed or sex trafficked or raped or something like that. You pray that your kids, but you do also hope that they learn the lesson, because after that you learn the lesson. And the thing is, it's just like, like I said, sometimes it's needed. You hate to do it, but sometimes it's needed to do. So you're not going to end up in, while making this video, I'm not expecting anybody to agree with me. And I'm not no child abuser, or just like, I'm not for child abuse or none of that stuff. I will tell you, yes, that is child neglect, because you get to call CPS on it. That is a form of child abuse. Yes. It's not good. Yes, it's not a good parenting, but it is effective. And that's where I'm gonna leave it at that. It's just, I'm not expecting anybody to agree with me with this. I really don't. But I still want to know, what do you think about that? Till then, my name's Soskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.